Dear students, today we will discuss about wildlife conservation and its management. So, how this wildlife conservation should do, and what are the different management practices people follow, or what are those? So, let me start from the first slide. So, what is the characteristics of wildlife? As we all know that wildlife is very precious. Wildlife animals that are adapted to live in a natural environment without the help of the human. माने आमे बिना ह्यूमन रो हेल्प रे भी वाइल्ड एनिमल को नेचुरल एनवायरनमेंट रे जेंटा बंचिबा बा समान जीवंत रहिबा सेटा को आमे वाइल्ड लाइफ बोली कहूचु धर जेमिति एनी वाइल्ड लाइफ मान जोंटा जंगल रे रहिबे जेमिति वाइल्ड लाइफ जेमिति आपण माने जानि परछंती tiger hela, lion, elephants, all these different types of vertebra hela, vertebrate animals with backbones, wildness. So different organisms also and small animals also. So जोटा भी आम वाइल्ड लाइफ माने आम चारिपार्श्व रे रहउछंती वन जंगल रे बा जोटा आमे किछि भी हे पारंती से माने vertebrate without backbone with backbone vertebrate जो मन को सो सेगुडा सब वाइल्ड लाइफ अंडर जाउछंती. So it must be adapted to everywhere and they have in terms of food and environment or they will perish. Must possess natural senses that allows them to avoid predator and dangerous predator animals that feed on small and weaker animals. So these are the some of the important characteristics of wildlife. So what are the different types of wildlife relationship? One is parasitism. Everybody knows. Parasitism is one type of living wildlife living and feeding on the another without killing it. It's a one type without killing it. And would like example wood ticks which can live in the almost any warm-blooded animals and warm-blooded animals with the ability to regulate their body temperature. So this is all about the parasitism. But in mutualism, we all know that both jana benefit by paruthibhe. So mutualism are two types of wildlife living together for the mutual benefits of both. So ସେମାନେ both ର भी benefits ପାଇପାରିବେ ମାନେ କେହି କାହାକୁ harm କରିବେନି ଦି ଜଣଙ୍କ ଠାରୁ benefits ନେଇପାରିବେ. So tick pickers part that pick ticks of wildlife nourishment. So बहुत सारे एमती different examples ଅଛି mutualism ର. So these are the relationship and predation ସମସ୍ତେ ଆମେ ଜାଣିଛୁ predation ଟା. Predation is way of life where one type wildlife eats another type. Fox gives 10 population of rodents, other small animals. Then commensalism ଆସିବ. Commensalism ହେଲା one type of wildlife living जोंटा कि another without other harming or helping it. केही काको help करिवेनी कि काको harm भी करिवेनी. So vulture waiting to feed the leftovers from the other animals kills. So କାହାର କ୍ଷତି ହେବନି कि କାହାକୁ help ବି ହେବନି. So these are the different types of relationship between the wildlife among them. So କିଛି ଏମିତି farm ରେ wildlife approved practices ମଧ୍ୟ ରହିଛି. So these are given below. So living on harvested areas in the corner of the field so that they can take and graze or they can eat, and planting fences rows with shrubs and grasses to prove the winter feed cover, leaving brush piles when harvesting loads wood. So ଆମେ ଯେମିତି କିଛି ଛାଡ଼ିବୁ ସେମାନଙ୍କ ପାଇଁ ଯେମିତି ସେମାନେ ବି ସେଥିରେ ବସବାସ କରିପାରିବେ. ମାନେ ଯେମିତି ଜଙ୍ଗଲ ବଡ଼ ଗଛ ହେଇଛି ଛୋଟ ବୁସ୍ ଟାଇପ୍ର କିଛି ଗଛ ଆମେ ଲଗେଇଦେଲୁ ଭିତରେ ଯେମିତି କିଛି ସ୍ମଲ୍ ଆନିମଲ୍ସ ଗୁଡ଼ା ତା ଭିତରେ ଲୁଚିକି ରହିପାରିବେ. କାରଣ ସେମାନଙ୍କୁ ବି ଗୋଟେ ସେଲ୍ଟର ଦରକାର. ସେମାନେ ବି ବଞ୍ଚିବା ପାଇଁ ତାଙ୍କୁ ଗୋଟେ କମ୍ଫର୍ଟେବୁଲ୍ ପ୍ଲେସ୍ ଦରକାର. ଯେମିତି ହ୍ୟୁମାନ୍ ବିଙ୍ଗର ଗୋଟେ ଘରଟେ ହେଉଛି ତ ସେମାନଙ୍କର ଘର ହିଁ ତାଙ୍କ ଜଙ୍ଗଲ. ସେମାନଙ୍କର ଗୋଟେ ଗଛ କିମ୍ବା ଗୋଟେ କେଉଁଠି ଡିଫରେଣ୍ଟ ଟାଇପ୍ର ବସ୍ ଯେଉଁଥିରେ ସେମାନେ ରହିପାରିବେ. ମେଞ୍ଚାଏ ଘାସ ଥିବ କିମ୍ବା ଘନ ଜଙ୍ଗଲ ହେଇଥିବ ତ ଏଇ ଟାଇପ୍ର ଡିଫରେଣ୍ଟ ପ୍ରାକ୍ଟିସେସ୍ ୟୁଜ୍ କରାଯାଏ ନର୍ମାଲି. ତାପରେ ରହିଲା ପ୍ଲାଣ୍ଟିଂ କ୍ରପ୍ସ ଆଟ୍ରାକ୍ଟିଭ୍ ଟୁ ୱାଇଲ୍ଡ ଲାଇଫ୍. କିଛି ଗଛକୁ ବି ଲଗାଯାଏ ଯେମିତିକି ୱାଇଲ୍ଡ ଲାଇଫ୍କୁ ଆଟ୍ରାକ୍ଟ କରିବା ପାଇଁ. providing water supply. Important is water. ଯଦି ସେ ଭିତରେ water ନଥିବ ତାହେଲେ ସେଠି ଗୋଟେ pond ଖୋଳାଯିବ କିମ୍ବା another way ରେ ବି କିଛି ଗୋଟେ water source create କରାଯିବ, so that ସେମାନଙ୍କର କିଛି problem ହବନି. So these are the different improvement approved practices for wildlife conservation. So some are the objective here to discuss the benefits of wildlife management, to define habitat and components of habitat, to discuss the different agencies and laws dealing with the wildlife management, to identify the techniques of wildlife management, right? So these are the definitions. Wildlife management: the science of managing wildlife, and its habitat, including man, for the benefits of the entire biota, all the plants and animals in the environment. So ସମସ୍ତଙ୍କୁ ନେଇକିନା ମ୍ୟାନେଜ୍ କରିବାଟା, କେମିତି ଆମେ ମ୍ୟାନେଜ୍ କରିପାରିବୁ ଆମ ଏନଭାୟରନମେଣ୍ଟକୁ ବା ୱାଇଲ୍ଡ ଲାଇଫକୁ, ସୋ ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ ଗୋଟେ ବାଲାନ୍ସ ମେଣ୍ଟେନ୍ ହେଇକି ରହିବ, ଗୋଟେ ଇକୋଲୋଜି, ଗୋଟେ ସନ୍ତୁଳନ ହେଇକି ରହିବ, ସେଇଟାକୁ management. So what's wildlife management? Here is another slide. So wildlife management is the science of manipulating habitat to improve the condition of wildlife resources and man. So या ପାଇଁ ବି स्वतंत्र रही सेम ଯେମିତି କହିଲି habitat को केमती improve करा जाई परिबो, resources को केमती improve करा जाई परिबो, बा conservation practices को केमती जदि हम गछ न जळे किबा न नष्ट करके जदि हम बढ़ी चलिबो ताले it will better for the animals, ସେମାନେ आराम से रही परिबे, right? And these are the some plants, plant management and practices like habitat control, erosion control, predator control, providing supplemental water, providing supplemental food, providing supplemental scent, and to determine the population that is census count. So these are the different plant management, right? So how to control habitat and erosion को केमती रखा जाई परिबो, predators control माने जदि गोटे group of animal को पूरा खाई दी जाउचंती, तो डिफरेंट प्रिडेटर जो माने प्रे प्रिडेटर जो रही तो सेमानक सब केमिति कंट्रोल करा जाई परिबो, न तो गोटे लाइक रे जदि हम जीवु गोटे एनिमल्स बहुत सारा हेई चलिबो, तो सेमिति एमिति कले अनबालांस हे जिवो, इकोलॉजीटा बालांस हेबो, त ताको बालांस करिया पय कोन सब करिया पड़ो, ता पय गोटे प्रॉपर मैनेजमेंट बा प्रैक्टिसेस भी आवश्यक. So 1947 रे ही बिग ईयर तक वाइल्ड लाइफ कंजर्वेशन एक्ट कह जाए, तो से टाइम रे कौन ना विशेषकर नॉर्थ कैरोलिना रे ये सब लेजिस्लेशन होता केमिति मैनेजमेंट कर साइंटिफिकली, तो तापर भी बहुत सारा रिसर्च टिल नाउ. And to all wildlife species require the same food and shelter? No, each species has a particular needs for foods and shelter. ଯେମିତି ହାତୀ ଯେଉଁଟା ଖାଇବ ବାଘ ସେଇଟା ଖାଇପାରିବନି, କିମ୍ବା ସ୍ମଲ୍ ଏନିମଲ୍ସ ଯେଉଁଟା ଖାଇପାରିବେ ବଡ଼ ଏନିମଲ୍ ସେଇଟା ଖାଇପାରିବନି, ସେ ସମସ୍ତଙ୍କର ଡିଫରେଣ୍ଟ ଫୁଡ୍ ଆଣ୍ଡ ସେଲ୍ଟର ରହିଥାଏ. ବିଶେଷ କରି ସ୍କ୍ୱେରେଲ୍ ମାନଙ୍କର ଆପଣ ଜାଣିଥିବେ ଗ୍ରେ ସ୍କ୍ୱେରେଲ୍ ସେ ସବୁବେଳେ ନଟ୍ସ ଆଣ୍ଡ ବେରିଜ୍ ଖାଇବାକୁ ବହୁତ ପସନ୍ଦ କରେ, ତ ଲାର୍ଜ ପର୍ସନ୍ ଅଫ୍ ମାସ୍ ନଟ୍ସ ଯେଉଁ ଇଏରେ ଥିବ ତ ସେମାନେ ପୁଣି ବଞ୍ଚିବେ କେମିତି, ତାଙ୍କ ପାଇଁ ସେମିତି ଟାଇପ୍ର ପ୍ଲାଣ୍ଟେସନ୍ କରିବାକୁ ପଡ଼ିବ. So these are the different examples जे केमिति different wildlife species केमिति निजको रक्षा कर परिबे. And these are the some pictures of team harvesting is of benefits to many wildlife species. ठीक है, फांका हे गले सन बुलाली करिया को सुविधा आगे टी खरा पड़िबो, तो some of the management practices also there. And किसी पर habitat अछि ताको भी केमिति रखा जाई परिबो. And पाइन प्लांटेशन, पाइन प्लांटेशन टा कौन हो ना पर हैबिटेट रे जाए, लो कैरिंग कैपेसिटी थाए, तो ताको जदि हटा जाता माने हटा जाई परिबो ताहले आउर बेटर एनिमल्स ग्रो कर से एरिया रे. So principle of wildlife management must be based on the fact man affected wildlife. Management must help the habitat to benefit wildlife populations. Conservation is the wise use of resources using conservation practices to improve an area. Preservation is the non-conditional use of resources long term. This is meant. So what are the different habitats for wildlife? So there are many habitats for this wildlife. Like habitat for animal wildlife is classified based on the ecosystems. Ecosystem are in areas known as biomes. A biome is a large area with a distinct combination of animal and plants. These are 5 types of terrestrial biome found in the United States, like tropical, temperate forest, grassland, tundra and taiga, and desert. These are the biomes of the world. Right. So biomes of the world. Tropical areas are near the equator. Tropically, these are the forest or wasteland with high temperatures. So what are the habitats required for the wildlife? Like all living organisms requires food, and food provides the nutrients needed to live, grow and reproduce. These are the very important steps towards the wildlife conservation. So these are the some food they need for their growth and their reproductions, etc. And what are the some selected management practices like vegetation management, how to manage the vegetation in a large scale. This is one of the challenging tasks for human also, because many areas plantation is doing so difficult task. So water source, these are the different water source. If you give the water source like this, they will also take the water and they will survive for more. And these are the edge adapted species. So ଏମାନଙ୍କୁ ବି ସେମାନେ ଟ୍ରାଏ କରୁଛନ୍ତି ମାନେ କନଜରଭେସନରେ କେମିତି ଏମାନଙ୍କୁ ଏନହାନ୍ସ କରାଯାଇପାରିବ, ଏମାନଙ୍କର ମାନେ ଯେଉଁ କ'ଣ ଲାଇଫକୁ ବହୁତ ସେଭ୍ କରାଯାଇପାରିବ। ଆଉ ସମ୍ ଆର୍ ଅଲସୋ ଏଣ୍ଡେଞ୍ଜର୍ଡ ସ୍ପେସିସ୍ ଯେଉଁଗୁଡ଼ାକ ରହିଛନ୍ତି ସେମାନଙ୍କୁ କେମିତି ଆହୁରି ବି ବହୁତ ସାରା ଏଣ୍ଡେଞ୍ଜର୍ଡ ରହିଛି ତାଙ୍କର ଯେଉଁ ମାନେ ତାଙ୍କର ଯେମିତି ଗ୍ରୁପଟାକୁ ବା ସେ ଆନିମଲ୍ର ପୁରା ତାଙ୍କର ଯେତିକି ରହିଛି କ୍ଲାସିଫିକେସନ୍ସଠୁ ଆରମ୍ଭ କରି ଯେତେକ ବି ଆନିମଲ୍ସ ତା ଭିତରେ ଯାଉଛନ୍ତି ସମସ୍ତଙ୍କୁ କେମିତି ରେସ୍କ୍ୟୁ କରିବା, ତାଙ୍କୁ କେମିତି ବେଟର ପ୍ଲେସ୍ ଦେଇକିନା ତାଙ୍କୁ କେମିତି ସର୍ଭାଇଭ୍ କରାଯାଇପାରିବ, ତା ଉପରେ ବି ମ୍ୟାନେଜମେଣ୍ଟ ପ୍ରାକ୍ଟିସେସ୍ ଆର୍ ୱାର୍କିଂ। So improving habitat ପାଇଁ first evaluate the existing conditions. Does farm or forest cover food, water, space or not? That to be first identified. And there are the niched and ecotones, are there vertical or horizontally layers in the forest. So these are the some of the important points to be improving of habitats. And improving of habitat this is also one example. After the evaluation, make improvement of the areas which need walks, water, shelter, cover. For example, we might want to plant the edge of a field to NSC for cover and broad habitat. So improving habitat, these are the pictures. So thank you very much. କିନ୍ତୁ ଇକୋଲୋଜିରେ ଆମେ ଜାଣିଛୁ ବହୁତ ସାରା ସେମିତି ଡିଫରେଣ୍ଟ ରହିଛି ସ୍ପେସିସ୍ ହଉ ବା ରେଡ୍ ଡାଟା ବୁକ୍ରେ ଆମେ କିଛି ତାଙ୍କୁ ଲିଷ୍ଟ ଆଉଟ୍ ବି କରୁ ଯେଉଁଟାକି ବହୁତ ଇମ୍ପୋର୍ଟାଣ୍ଟ ଥାଏ। ସୋ ଥ୍ୟାଙ୍କ ୟୁ ଡିୟର୍ ଷ୍ଟୁଡେଣ୍ଟସ୍। ଯଦି କିଛି କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚନ୍ସ ରହିଛି ତାହେଲେ କମେଣ୍ଟ ବକ୍ସରେ ମୋତେ ନିଶ୍ଚୟ ଲେଖି ପଠାନ୍ତୁ। ମୁଁ ଆପଣମାନଙ୍କର କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚନ୍ର ଆନ୍ସର୍ ଦେବାକୁ ନିଶ୍ଚୟ ଟ୍ରାଏ କରିବି। ଥ୍ୟାଙ୍କ ୟୁ।